Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to NHL 18 franchise mode with your Quebec Nordiques. Yes, we are back here again to play the 2018 NHL playoffs. The Quebec Nordiques, in their first season back in the NHL since returning to the National Hockey League, they've made it back to the playoffs with a 45, 32 and 5 record. Part of our return to the playoffs has been thanks to a trade we made on trade deadline day with the Boston Bruins. We sent Alec Martinez to Boston, and in exchange we picked up Max Domi. Not quite sure how he made it to Boston. Must have been a trade with Arizona earlier in the season. We also picked up restricted free agent Ryan Spooner, who we will sign in the offseason, and Adam McQuaid to help replace Alec Martinez. So we are going up against the LA Kings for the first round of the playoffs for the Quebec Nordiques. If we just take a look at what the playoffs look like, Kevin Shattenkirk was the best player on our team with 62 points in 81 games. He missed one game this season, but 62 points, 50 assists for Kevin Shattenkirk. Quite glad I kept him around. 57 points for Michael Grabner, a 20-goal scorer and 34 assists. He's never really been known as an assist man, but he manages to pick up some assists there for 57 points in 82 games. Max Domi, we brought him onto the team and he became our third highest scorer on the team with 50 points, 20 goals, 30 assists, and I believe he picked up about 13 points since the trade deadline with us, which is about 20 games, 17 games, something like that. So well done, Max Domi. So brilliant job. Now, let me show you what the playoff picture looks like, shall we? The Quebec Nordiques are there, folks. So, in the Western Conference, we have the Nashville Predators against the Chicago Blackhawks. That sounds like a really good series. Then we have the St. Louis Blues against the Minnesota Wild. We have the Anaheim Ducks against the Arizona Coyotes. Only in a video game. And the LA Kings against the Quebec Nordiques. Then in the Eastern Conference, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets against the New York Islanders, the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Washington Capitals, the Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, a Florida matchup. Oh, and then the Montreal Canadiens against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That would be a very interesting playoff series to watch. I would definitely watch that series. So, we already gave ourselves a bit of a team meeting at the end of last episode. Let's take a look at what the line combinations are before we start this. For those of you who don't know how I do the playoffs, period by period simulation, and if we are facing elimination, then it's times 8 simulation throughout the game. So, the first forward line, we have Max Domi with Mark Letestu and Andrei Burakovsky. Second line with Michael Grabner, Chris Tierney and Evgeny Dadonov. Third line with Jason Chimera, Ryan Zingle and Connor Brown. Fourth line, Antoine Roussel with Brad Richardson and Victor Stolberg. We also picked up a lot of guys on waivers during the season. Then we have Brodin with Vatanen on the first pair, Dumoulin with Shattenkirk on the second pair, and for some reason Devontae Smith-Pelly is playing defense. Do we not have another defenseman? No, okay, well that's something we can do now. Let's go to roster moves and bring up a defenseman. We have 20 skaters on our roster. Oh no, Matthias Ekholm is injured, that's why he's not there. So Matt Nieto's playing an 80 overall for the left winger. That's pretty decent. How did his season go? 78 points in 82 games for Matt Nieto. Wow. I mean, if he keeps playing like that, he'll be up next season. Xavier Ouellet, what was his season like? 32 points in 82 games in the AHL. Not too shabby. Right. Okay, so we can't bring him up because that will mean we've got too many players. Is there any players that we don't need to waive? No, that's a problem. Okay, so if we just go Derek McKenzie we can drop because I don't think we're actually using him at the moment. So Derek McKenzie, we send you down and nobody can be claimed off waivers at the moment, I don't think, because we're in the playoffs. So if we bring up Xavier Ouellet, then we'll edit the lines. I don't think McKenzie was playing, was he? No, McKenzie wasn't playing. Okay, that's fine. So then for this, Adam McQuaid can play on the right-hand side. We'll bring in Xavier Ouellet to play in the left side. Good. So Smith-Pelly isn't there anymore. It's Xavier Ouellet. Scratched, we have Jonas Korpisalo. Well, Korpisalo can go down. We've got both of our goaltenders. Yeah, let's send Korpisalo down. We'll go best lines for you guys. I did say go to roster moves. Didn't I? I did say that, right? So... Oh no, we want to go this one. We may as well send Korpisalo down, because then he'll get playing time. Like, he won't get playing time if he's up here with us. So, let's just edit lines. Oh, did we not make the playoffs? Oh, we didn't make the playoffs. Oh, okay, well, that kind of sucks. I'll hold a team meeting for these guys then. Sorry, folks. You should have played better. So, did we narrowly miss the playoffs? Did we miss it by much? I don't know. Right, edit lines. We'll go best lines down here, even though nobody's playing. Elias Anderson, he's a 71 overall. Is that it? I was hoping to grow a little bit more. Vitali, yeah, we picked him up on waves as well. Anyway, so Domi, Letestu, Burakovsky, Grabner, Tierney, don't know, yeah, that's all fine. A defence, Brodin, Vatanen, Dumoulin, Shattenkirk, Wallet, McQuaid. Okay, right, I think we're good now, folks. Good, sorted. Right, now we start our playoffs. I have no expectations whatsoever of how Quebec are going to do. If we go out in the first round, we get swept in the first round, not a problem. I mean, of course, I wouldn't like that. That wouldn't be ideal, but if that's what happens, that's what happens. I'm okay with that. Because I have very low expectations for Quebec here, but we start at the Staples Center against the LA Kings. Van der Velde against Zingle for the opening face-off of our playoff run. First period. Okay, so 2-1 game for us. Max Domi with a pair of goals, and Trevor Lewis scores on Steve Mason. 15 shots to 8 in favour of the visiting Nordiques, though. Second period. Okay, it's a 3-1 lead. Burakovsky scores on Quick. 25 shots to 24 in favour of the Nordiques. We'll go ×8 simulation. Nick Dowd scores on Steve Mason, and the lead has been completely destroyed by Yuri Hudler, but Connor Brown comes back again and breaks the tie, and we're back up in the lead. Wow, that was an interesting 4 minutes of the game. 2 goals for LA, a goal for us, and we're back in the lead by just 1 this time. So a pair of goals by Max Domi started off our scoring. Burakovsky's got 1, Connor Brown's got 1, and as the game comes to an end, there you go. So we win our first ever playoff game, returning to the National Hockey League. Only problem is, Victor Stolberg has been injured. However, not a problem because our team is absolutely overflowing with bottom 6 talent. So, one guy out, another guy in. We'll let Smith Pelly play this one, I think. He's a little bit upset. So Max Domi, a pair of goals in his playoff debut with the Quebec Nordiques. I'll take it. Not bad. Oh, good. Matthias Ekholm is back. Brilliant. So, if we bring Dumoulin down to the bottom pair, we bring in Ekholm here, if we can. And then, scratched, I would like to... I'll leave Wallet up here. Hopefully he won't get too grumpy that he's not playing. Okay, good. So, game 1, we took the victory, 4-3. Here we go into game 2 at the Staples Center. If we take both of them here, we could sweep them. Jeff Carter against Ryan Zingle for the opening face-off. First period. Okay, no score after the first. Almost doubling us up on shots, though, are the LA Kings. 14-8. Second period. Okay, they managed to score the tie-breaking goal. Kyle Quincy, the first goal in the game, scored on Steve Mason. 24 shots to 18 in favour of the Kings. We'll go ×8 simulation. See if the Nordiques can come back in this one. Oh, Nolan scores, and the insurance marker has been established for the LA Kings. Oh, come on, Quebec. Oh, Jeff Carter gets the third one. I think that's going to be it. I don't think the Quebecs are coming back in this one. Unless they get 3 goals really quickly. Max Domi scores his third of the series. That's pretty impressive. 3 goals in 2 games for Max Domi. Wow, he's been a clutch guy for us. Ryan Zingle scores with 1:24 left. Oh, that was a close one. If we'd just got 1 more goal, if we had the extra attacker on and picked that one up. Brian Dumoulin's been injured. Okay, save your wallet. You're back in the lineup, mate. Oh, if only we could have picked up 1 more goal there, that would have been fantastic. We would have tied that game up with like 5 minutes left. No worries, though, no worries. It's early on in the series. We've got 2 games at the Videotron Centre where we can take the series lead. So, game 3 of the series. We won the first one, we lost the second. Let's take both games at home and we'll be fine. The first home playoff game for the Quebec Nordiques in about 20 years. Kopitar against Letestu for the opening face-off. First period. Okay, we take the lead. Max Domi again. Max Domi has scored 4 goals in 3 games. He is on fire at the moment. 10 shots to 9 in favour of the LA Kings. Second period. Okay, they managed to tie one back. Van der Velde scores on Mason. 22 shots to 14 in favour of the Kings. ×8 simulation for the third period. Come on, Quebec. Break this tie. There you go. Devontae Smith-Pelly on the 4th line. That's what I like to see. Beautiful effort, gents. Defence wins championships, and our defence have done a solid job so far. Not many goals against. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself. There you go. Michael Grabner gets his first of the playoffs as well. And it looks like it's going to be a Quebec victory. Boom. Game 3 of the series, the Quebec Nordiques take a 3-1 victory. 1 goal against. 4 goals in 3 games for Max Domi. He is on fire in this first round. That's what we need. We need those goals, because otherwise we're not going to do very well. Right, game 4. If we win this game, we're 1 game away from the second round of the playoffs. If we lose, we're right back where we started, and that becomes a best-of-3 series. So, Kopitar against Christiani to take the opening face-off at the Videotron Centre. First period. Okay, there you go. 2 goals. Vatanen and Dadonov, both with their first playoff goals for the Quebec Nordiques. 10 shots to 8 in favour of the Nordiques. Second period. Oh my goodness, 7-0. Smith Pelly, Burakovsky, Zingle, Brodin and Letestu. They actually had to bring out Darcy Kemper, their backup. A 7-0 lead for the Quebec Nordiques. 24 shots to 21 though in favour of the LA Kings. We've scored on a third of our shots so far this game. Wow. And third period. There you go, a 7-0 victory for the Quebec Nordiques. The 3 stars, Steve Mason with the shutout, Vatanen with 3 points, and Burakovsky with a goal and an assist. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Sami Vatanen, 6 points in 4 games. So Max Domi is now going a goal a game in the playoffs, and we have the potential to make it to the second round. Michael Grabner's up to an 83. Management is nailing it recently. You're damn right I am, Michael Grabner. He's loving it. He's playing really well. Good. Some of these guys are growing in the playoffs. That's what I like to see. Okay, game 5 of the series. Can the Quebec Nordiques shut this down at the Staples Centre and take the victory? We'll find out. Letestu against Van der Velde for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques. First period. Okay, it's a 1-1 game. Shattenkirk scores his first of the playoffs, and Trevor Lewis ties the game late in the first. 15 shots to 9 in favour of the Nordiques. Second period. Okay, they managed to take the lead. Adrian Kempe on Steve Mason. 25 shots to 18 in favour of the Nordiques, though. Come on, Quebec, let's tie this game up, gents. 30 shots on goal. You are taking so many shots, guys. Come on. Oh, Tyler Toffoli scores on Steve Mason. And a 2-goal lead has been established for the LA Kings for the first time in this game. Oh, come on, Nordiques. Come back. Tie this game. Please. I don't want to go to 6 games. We're going to 6 games. So we managed to pick up 1 goal, but it's not enough to take out the LA Kings. Wow, Max Domi 6 points in 5 games. We need something here, boys. Victor Stolberg's back, that's fine. I'm not going to bring him back in. Smith Pelly's played alright for us. So, if we win this game, we're through in 6 games. If they win, we go to a game 7, and I really don't want that to happen, boys. Here we go, Letestu against Carter at the Videotron Centre. We won both games here. Come on, Nordiques. First period. Okay, no score after the first. We're over-doubling them up on shots, though, 11-5. Second period. Okay, good. Christiani gets the goal. 27 shots to 13 in favour of Quebec. Times that simulation. A power play. Come on, boys. Oh, we needed that insurance marker. I don't like having a 1-goal lead against LA. I feel like it's not enough. Halfway through the period, can the Quebec Nordiques add an insurance marker or hold on to this shutout victory? Oh, it's close. It's close. We're coming down to the final minutes of the game. And there you go. The Quebec Nordiques have made it to the second round of the playoffs. 2 shutouts for Steve Mason in the first round. 2 shutouts in 6 games. That's pretty impressive. Wow. Well played, boys. So we're going through to the conference semi-finals. Whew. Let's hold a team meeting. Let's get these boys buzzing. They're doing fantastically well at the moment. That was a walk in the park, boys. 6 games, not a problem. Had a game in hand, no worries. Okay, so Nashville have swept the Blackhawks. The St. Louis Blues are through. The Anaheim Ducks are through. The Habs. The Panthers are through. The Caps are through. And then there's one more game 7. Pardon me. So we're up against the Anaheim Ducks for the next round of the playoffs. Well, at least we didn't have to travel too far from LA. Let's hold a team meeting against the Anaheim Ducks. We've got to do well here, boys. I'm expecting nothing but the best from you. Dumoulin, Wallet, Smith, Pelly and Nestrasil, they love that response. Good. So, game 1 of the conference... Where are we? Game 1 of the conference semi-finals against the Anaheim Ducks, who had a worse season record than we did. Here we go, boys. Let's do this. Game 1 of round 2 in Anaheim. Raquel against Christiani for the opening face-off. First period. Okay, it's a 1-1 game. Max Domi again scores, and Corey Perry scores on Steve Mason. 13 shots to 11 in favour of Quebec. Second period. Okay, we've taken the lead 3-1. Max Domi again, and Antoine Roussel. The Frenchie gets a goal. 21 shots to 18 in favour of the Nordiques. Times 8 simulation for the third period. They had an early power play, but we killed it off. The Quebec Nordiques have done a fantastic job so far this playoffs. Patrick Weirkosh scores on Steve Mason. The lead is cut to 1. A power play for the Nordiques. They can't capitalise. And Ricard Raquel has tied the game between these two teams in game 1 of round 2. As the period comes to an end, nobody can be a hero. And it's overtime in game 1. 37 shots to 33 in favour of Anaheim. The overtime period is up now. Come on, Nordiques. Let's get this victory, boys. Come on, Nordiques. Let's get this game winner. Start off this playoffs well. A power play. We killed it off. Well done, gents. Come on, Nordiques. We just need one more goal here, lads. They've had almost 50 shots on goal. Come on, Nordiques. You know you want to. Let's not go to double overtime here, fellas. We are going to double overtime in game 1 of round 2. 53 shots for Anaheim. 50 saves for Steve Mason. Wow. Double overtime. There you go! Right at the start of double overtime. 27 seconds into double overtime. The 40th shot on goal, and Mark Letestu picks up the game winner for the Quebec Nordiques. Beautiful, gents. Max Domi has 9 points in 7 games. Almost a goal a game. Oh, Brian Dumoulin is back. Perfect. Our defence is getting slightly better now. Perfect. Our top 6 isn't, like, shockingly good, but it's good enough. It's good enough. This is quite impressive. I did not expect the Nordiques to get this far. So, game 2. Let's keep going. Why not? Keep going through this. So, Letestu against Antoine Vermette for the opening face-off of game 2 of round 2. We've already got a power play. First period. Okay, they managed to take the tie-breaking goal. Tyler Kennedy scores on Steve Mason. 16 shots, though, to 5 in favour of Quebec. Second period. Okay, we've managed to add 1. Michael Grabner gets 1, but Cam Fowler breaks the tie once again. 28 shots to 16 in favour of Quebec before the third period. A power play, and the Nordiques can't do it, and Montour manages to get the insurance marker for the Anaheim Ducks. And Cogliano adds another one. Is this going to turn into a bit of a rout here? Is that going to be enough? I don't know. Oh, a power play for the Nordiques. Oh, it's a long power play, but we can't get back into it. Wow. Solid penalty killing by the Anaheim Ducks. I'll give them credit there. Another power play for us, but that's all she wrote. So, the series is tied after 2 games, just like last series. 9 points for Max Domi in 8 games. 6 goals in 8 games. Scouting assignment. Right, we need to see where we need to scout. So, defenseman in the O would be good. Let's do that for 3 weeks. So we can get at least 2 more of them done. So, round 2 at the Videotron Centre for the first time since we've returned. See if we can do this. Tierney against Getzlaff for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques. First period. Okay, no score after the first. 8 shots to 6 in favour of Quebec. A very low shooting period. Second period. Okay, there you go. Richardson, the depth centre, gets a goal on John Gibson. Times 8 simulation for the third period. It was 17 shots to 16 after the second, I believe. A power play for the Anaheim Ducks. Nothing happening. Good. That's what I like to see. There you go. Chris Tierney gets the insurance marker. Beautiful effort here. Corey Perry manages to cut the lead in half. Shots are relatively equal here so far in the game. About 5 minutes left. Can the Nordiques hold on? Can they put an empty netter? They don't need to as they win the game 2-1. Wow. This is a very low-scoring series by the looks of it. 10 points in 9 games for Max Domi. We've got a player over a point per game, which is what we need. Wouldn't have expected it to be Max Domi, but I'll welcome it. Florida are 3-0 up on the Habs. Jesus. Right, game 4. If we win this one, we're 1 game away from going through to the conference finals. Kessler against Letestu for the opening face-off. First period. Okay, it's a 2-1 game to us. Richardson and Tierney score again. I think they both scored last game, didn't they? And Ryan Kessler scores on Steve Mason. 16 shots to 10 in favour of the Anaheim Ducks. Second period. Okay, it's a 3-1 lead. Connor Brown scores. 26 shots to 20 in favour of Anaheim. Times 8 simulate third period. And Jonas Brodin adds a goal. I think that's his second of the playoffs, I believe. We've got that 3-goal lead. Apparently they are the worst leads to have in hockey, so we'll add another one from Dadanov. Why not? Brilliant timing there, Dadanov. Another power play. Can we route them even more? Maybe not. Oh, Letestu adds one as well. Everybody's starting to patch their stats a little bit. Good. Trying to get closer to a point per game. And as the game ends, a 6-1 victory for the Quebec Nordiques. I believe we are undefeated at home. Oh, Connor Brown's been injured with a broken nose. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Okay, right. We'll leave Smith Pelly there, I think. And we'll stick in Nestrasil, actually. He hasn't had a chance to play any playoff hockey. Let's give it a go. 12 points in 10 games for Max Domi. Wow, there's a 3-1 lead in both Western Conference matchups. St. Louis are beating Nashville. So we're going back to Anaheim to see if we can finish off this series. If we win this, then we're through to the Western Conference Finals. Ryan Getzlaff against Chris Tierney for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques, let's shut this down. First period. Okay, they managed to open the scoring. Jakob Silverberg with 6 seconds left in the period. 9 shots to 8 in favour of Anaheim. Second period. Okay, there you go. 2 from us. Max Domi again and Andrei Burakovsky score on John Gibson. 19 shots to 18 in favour of Anaheim after the second period. With times 8 simulating the third. Can we get that insurance marker on the power play? No, we cannot. Can we hold this lead, Quebec? Some very low scoring games. That seems to work for this Nordiques team, so I won't complain. Less than 5 minutes left in the game. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. Can they do an empty netter from Jonas Brodin? And the Quebec Nordiques, in their first season back in the National Hockey League, have made it through to the Western Conference Finals. Oh, Brad Richardson's out. Oh, that's a pain. He scored a couple of really clutch goals for us in that series. Okay, well, we need to bring in somebody else. Let's bring in Victor Stolberg. Who's got the better face-offs here? 60... 65, 61. Nestrasil, 75. Okay, so we'll swap there. There you go. So we've had a few injuries. Luckily, no injuries to any major players. 13 points in 11 games for Max Domi. He's looking at Conn Smythe at the moment. Either him or Steve Mason if we win the playoffs. I can't see it going to anybody else at the moment. So, Nashville managed to fight back a game. What's the other... oh, wow. A sweep for the Florida Panthers. I think they've swept both series now. Gosh, they must have made a really big trade in the before the trade deadline, I mean. Okay, so Connor Brown is back. Perfect. Yeah, we may as well put him in because he can grow up. He can grow to an 80 overall, can't he? He's a 79 overall, so if we... Yeah, because he'll have enough time to recover from his injury as well because we've got a few days. So it's gone to 7 games between St. Louis and Nashville. Richardson's back as well. So the 2 guys that got injured, they've basically come back. And Mark Letestu's up at an 80 overall. Brilliant. Sorry, Nestrasil, but I'm going to have to scratch you. This is the lineup that's been working for us so well. So I'm going to have to keep with it. The round of the playoffs is over. And we're up against St. Louis. They just managed to hold on against the Nashville Predators, who took it to 7 games. And the other series is Columbus against Florida. Interesting. Right, the conference finals. The Quebec Nordiques have made it to the conference finals. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point, let's be honest, folks. So here we go. Game 1 in St. Louis. Let's give this a go. So, Letestu against Paul Stastny for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques. First period. Okay, they open the scoring. Bouwmeester on Steve Mason. However, 11 shots to 8 in favour of the Nordiques. Second period. Oh my goodness, wow, that's a lot of scoring. So Fabry, Sobotka, Tarasenko and Schwartz all score for the St. Louis Blues, and Vatanen, Grabner and Burakovsky score for us. 22 shots to 19 in favour of St. Louis. We'll go times 8 simulation, see if we can come back in this. Come on, Quebec. A power play, that's good, come on. Would have loved a power play goal there from Quebec. The Nordiques, it's halfway through the period. Can they get anything back here? A power play for St. Louis. Oh, they didn't score either, so good penalty killing effort. This is a very uncharacteristic high-scoring game. Alexander Steen manages to add another one. So a 6-3 loss in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Okay, fair dues. 14 points in 12 games, though, for Max Domi. 7 goals, 7 assists. Very equal. That's what I like to see. So this is the first time we're actually down in a series this playoffs. Game 2 against St. Louis. Let's get straight into it. Columbus took the lead in their series. Letestu against Jiri Lehtera for the opening face-off. First period. Okay, no score after the first. 14 shots to 6 in favour of St. Louis, though. Over doubling us up. Second period. Okay, we've taken the lead. Ryan Zingle with less than a minute left. 38 seconds left in the period. Manages to take the lead. 21 shots to 10 in favour of St. Louis. Come on, Nordiques. Let's get this insurance marker, boys. Power play. This is good. Ah, would have been nice if we could have scored on that power play, got that insurance marker. Less than halfway to go in the third period. Just under 5 minutes now. Come on, Nordiques. Hold this lead, boys. There you go. Letestu scores. Is there going to be an empty netter? Yes, there is from Brad Richardson. There you go. We take another shutout victory. Steve Mason has been solid in net for us. Christiani has fractured his jaw. That's a bit of a pain in the arse. We'll have to bring in somebody to replace him. I don't really want to mix up the other line combinations because they're doing all right. So, Nestrasil, you can play second line centre. Talk about a promotion from being a healthy scratch. So, we have tied this series 1-1. Okay. Now, we are undefeated in the Videotron Centre so far this playoffs. Let's see if we can keep that up. Here we go. First Western Conference final game at the Videotron Centre. Barbashev versus Zingle for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques. Let's stay undefeated here. First period. Okay, wow, it's a 3-0 lead. Domi again, Dadanov and Smith-Pelly. 14 shots to 9 in favour of the Nordiques. Second period. Okay, they managed to get 3, and we get 1 more. Burakovsky currently with the game-winning goal at the moment. Steen with a pair, and Schwartz with 1. 28 shots to 18 in favour of St. Louis. Now, ×8 simulation. Can we get that insurance marker back, Quebec? We really could do with getting that. Oh, Dmitry Yaskin manages to tie the game. A power play for the Nordiques. Oh, come on, boys. Don't let them take the lead in this game late. Come on, Nordiques. We need something here. Come on, boys. Let's do this, Nordiques. No, we go to overtime. Oh, Western Conference, Game 3 overtime. 40 shots to 28 in favour of St. Louis. Come on, Nordiques. Come on, Nordiques. Let's get this going, boys. No! And Robbie Fabry manages to get the overtime winner. So we have lost the first game at the Videotron Centre in the playoffs. However, we have not lost in regulation at the Videotron Centre. So we keep ourselves in it, which is nice. But we're down 2-1 in this series now. So if we can win this, we're right back where we started. It's a best-of-3 series. Let's see if we can do that. Wow, 17 points in 14 games for Domi. Let's hold our team meeting. Let's make sure everybody's ready to go here. Michael Grabner's having a fantastic time. Currently 83 overall. Max Domi, Dumoulin, Wallet, Smith-Pelly, Nestrasil and Stolberg will love that. Shattenkirk doesn't, but there you go. Okay, here we go, boys. Game 4 of the series in the Videotron Centre. Did I just press play game? Because I didn't mean to do that. Nope, I didn't. Laterra against Letestu for the opening face-off. Come on, Nordiques. First period. Okay, 2 goals to them. Tarasenko and Barbashev score on Mason. 13 shots to 7, though, in favour of the St. Louis Blues. Almost doubling us up again. Second period. Okay, no score there. 19 shots to 11 in favour of the Blues. Come on, Nordiques, a power play. Let's go. Oh, Nordiques, come on. We need something here, boys. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. We might be facing elimination next game if we don't score a couple of goals late. The Nordiques, nope. The defence of the St. Louis Blues is standing tall here. Nothing's happening here for the Nordiques. An empty netter for Karl Brodziak. And a 3-0 shutout victory for the St. Louis Blues in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. So, we are now facing elimination for the first time in this playoffs. Let's hold a team meeting and maybe edit some of these lines, see what's going on. Max Domi hasn't scored in a few games. So let's see if we can sort this out. I think we stick Grabner on the first line. He's an 83 overall. See how that goes. If we stick Grabner on the first line, what's Chimera's face-offs like? 73. What's Chieni's face-offs like? 75. Play Chimera in the top 6. He's been quietly doing the job for us this season. And we'll play Dadanov there, and Burakovsky can play on the second pair. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, defensively, yeah, I don't really see what else we can do defensively. So, we are facing elimination. That means ×8 simulation from here on in, folks. Oh, I pressed play game, didn't I? Oh, I keep pressing down and A, but it never registers it quick enough. Yes, I'd like to exit, please. Okay, at least it didn't say, you will be simmed. Right, here we go, boys. Game 5. We need to stay in this series. Tarasenko against Zingle for the opening face-off. ×8 simulation going. Come on, Quebec. We need something here, boys. Good. We're getting some shots on goal, which is good. A power play early on. Good. Ah, can't score on the power play, but we'll get some shots. And Paul Stastny opens the scoring. Ah, looked like we had the momentum there, but apparently not. There you go. Michael Grabner gets stuck on the first line and he ties the game up late in the first period. Good. So the end of the first period, 11 shots to 9 in favour of Quebec. We move to the second period. Come on, Nordiques. Let's get this going, boys. Chris Tierney on that third line picks up a goal. Beautiful effort. A power play. Oh, I would have loved that insurance marker there, Quebec. Come on, Nordiques. We need to be a little bit better on this power play. As the second period is winding down, we've got about 5 minutes left in the second. Oh, this is a close game. This is a very close matchup at the moment. And at the end of the second period, 20 shots to 14 in favour of Quebec. They have a 2-1 lead. Here we go for the third period. Oh, Ryan Reeves, why? Why would you tie that up so quickly? A power play. Come on, Quebec. Oh, 3 power plays and nothing on them. The St. Louis penalty killer's done a good job. A 4-on-3. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Oh, just about managed to kill that off, Nordiques. Come on, Quebec. Get the tiebreaker. Come on, Nordiques. And we go to overtime. In Game 5, an elimination game in the Western Conference Finals. The St. Louis Blues took the last game in overtime. We need to take this, Quebec. We need to do it. 28 shots to 26 in favour of St. Louis. Here we go. Here we go. Power play for the Nordiques. Come on. Oh, power play goal. Please, Quebec. 0 for 4. Oh, come on, Nordiques. You can do this. Come on, Quebec. You've got this, boys. Don't get eliminated. Come on, Nordiques. Power play. Power play. No! And the St. Louis Blues score. Pietrangelo. Damn it. 5 minutes 13 left in overtime. The 36th shot for the St. Louis Blues. And they take us out in 5 games in the Western Conference Finals. Jake Allen with the first star. Bloody Pietrangelo with the second star. And Ryan Smelly Reeves with the third star. God damn you, boys. Oh, we had a 2-1 lead in this game as well. So, at the end of that series, we managed to make it to the conference finals, though. Like, for a first-year team returning to the National Hockey League, the Quebec Nordiques, after that trade really helped us with the Boston Bruins. We made it to the conference finals. We were 7 wins away from the Stanley Cup. Wow. In our first year returning to the National Hockey League. The only problem is now that we're going to have some pretty high expectations for the Nordiques going forward. Like, we're going to want to hit the... I'm going to want a Stanley Cup final appearance next season. All because we had such a good job there. Oh, this is going to be interesting, folks. This is going to be interesting. Right, edit the scouting assignment. What we got going on? Let's scout the W defence for 3 weeks. Then we should be able to get one more scouting assignment in there at least. So we've scouted some people. We don't need to scout goaltenders at the moment, I don't think. I think we're fine on a goaltending standpoint, which is good. Yep, we'll keep the current ticket prices. 86% of everything has been sold, pretty much. The St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup. Okay, then. So, we lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, which means if we'd only just won a couple more games, we might have won the Stanley Cup. Oh, it's so frustrating. And then the Toronto Marlies won the Calder Cup. So the salary cap has gone up by $1 million, I believe, on last season, which don't think will be the case in the real NHL. It's going to go up by like $5 million in the real NHL because of the profits. So the Vancouver Canucks have the first pick in the draft. Vegas have the second. We don't have any of the lottery picks, of course. We'll have one of the weaker ones. I expect you to boost fan happiness to at least 96. We had a Western Conference final run in the playoffs and the fans aren't happy. It's our first year back. Right, let's take a look at the retired players, shall we? So nobody from a skater standpoint, nobody from a goaltending standpoint. So let's take a look at who decided to retire. So all players. So Jaromir Jagr, understandable. Jerome McGinley decided to call it a day. Matt Cullen called it a day. Chris Pronger, well, he's been out for years. Alexander Burrows decided to call it a day. Good. Matt Stajan. Johan Franzen, he's been out for ages. Stephen Reinprecht, who had been out of the league for a very long time. John Michael Lyles. Ryan Clough, who's been out for a while. Michael Roosevelt. Chris Kelly. Francois Beauchemin. Chris Neal. Jay McClement. Tom Gilbert, Brooks Orpik. Nick Schultz. McCulloch. And Rostislav Klesler. Are there any players from the, St. Louis Blues that decided to call it a day? That's what I'm interested in. Any sort of guys that finished off their career with a Stanley Cup victory? Doesn't look like it. Nope, doesn't look like it. Although Jaromir Jagr may have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in his last season. That's a shame. Right, okay. So our trading block is there. So the NHL entry draft is here. So I'm going to end this episode here, ladies and gents. Next episode, we will go through the 2018 entry draft and free agency. Hopefully we'll be able to add some stud players to our lineup and make the Quebec Nordiques a Stanley Cup contender in their second year. So I'm going to end this episode here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!